What? Wasn't up there at the time.
Recognize the attorney. The same attorney. The same attorney from whether.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Oh, crap.
No reflection.
I know. I do radiate heat.
Well, maybe I should have stayed there.
This is as good as mine.
It's awfully close to meeting time, but I have no quorum here. I need one more.
Jeff's out in the parking lot.
I'm sorry?
Jeff's out in the parking lot.
I don't hear you. I'm so sorry.
Jeff is out in the parking lot.
Yeah, I was expecting Jeff to come in and maybe, and probably Gabe too. Mrs. Crack will not be with us tonight. I happen to live next door to Jeff Kerr, and I thought he was leaving the same time I was.
He said he's out in the parking lot.
He must have taken the scenic
He's in
route
the
to get
parking
here.
lot.
Yes.
You want me to go get him?
I'm sorry?
You want me to go get him?
You're right.
Take him by the ear.
Yeah.
Bring him down here, right?
Get in here.
Oh, that's because they didn't have any idea what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
That's what's.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what's different. One thing I like about that van is it's got a built-in cooler. I forgot to put this on before we left. Bill doesn't.
Yeah, well,
It's down
when
that
it
van.
first is because it freezes, you're sorry enough to do me.
I know. We don't leave soda in there usually. But I wasn't complaining. Hey, look, my new van.
Let me see, where's it at?
Oh,
I'm
pardon.
not ever gonna know.
That maroon van been driving around.
I don't know. Is it up here on that front line?
Yeah, it's a Honda Odyssey.
Oh, the Honda, okay.
Well, freaking problem is like we've been doing the 3D printer shows and stuff. Just like having to have mom haul us around to them. You know, it was getting old on her and me, and
Yeah.
well, I'm like, you know what? Let's get a minivan. And I said, you know
Yeah,
what?
that'd be the right thing to do, front wheel drive and everything, especially.
You know, freaking, I said, my Honda Accord, viable as today is long. We got a Honda motorcycle, and now we got a Honda minivan.
Well, there you go. You need to have a cat going Honda.
I think it's freaking nice. Like, oh my gosh, I mean, I didn't care about a lot of the features, but it's got a damn DVD player for the back seat.
That's good. You can use the van for your honeymoon.
Oh no, I'll tell you what though, these freaking cold ass days, I'm heating the seats have been nice. We made a trip to Missouri to visit my fiance's mom, and it was blistering cold outside, and I turned that heated seat on high, and oh man, my back just melted. It was nice. Now Chrissy, my fiance, gets in like her car or any other car, and she's like, I don't like this anymore. I'm used to having all that space. Yeah, you feel cramped in like the SUV because it's a small SUV or mine Accord. You feel cramped in it, and you get in that minivan, it's just so wide open.
We can't do
See that last meeting, they were talking about getting bids for windows that they did a year ago.
Try to make sense of that. Lotion, you didn't have the sewer one between Maine, Charles, Kansas,
I
and
think he's out in the pickup, but
I guess repaired.
Yep, it's
Walk
missing
over
one.
the ice.
Yeah, it's flipped out
Once you
there.
fall down and break your arm.
I don't either.
That's an inside joke. She did that a couple years ago.
Yeah, but it's slick out there.
I'm texting Mallory. I thought maybe Mallory could get him going.
I gotta get something to take my cat for a
How
minute.
many weeks is in a year? Crazy. This one's not that big.
That's why countries, trades,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Danny, what was the rule in college if the professor didn't show up? It was like 5 minutes for a bachelor's professor, 10 minutes for a master's degree, 15 minutes for a PhD.
Then you were good to go. Yeah. I don't know that I ever waited 15 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
I think 5 or 10 was probably.
And then there was a time when the guy's hat was there on the desk, but the professor was not. After a certain period of time, people were filing out, and here he comes.
Yeah.
I said, my hat's here, I'm here. I'm obligated to wait anyway. Well, along the lines of general discussion, we're not in session, but off the record, I will say we had a little snow, and I thought the guys did a pretty good job pushing snow around. When you push the snow off the streets with the grader, you obviously push them in some people's driveways, and that causes problems as well. So the city is not in the business of cleaning out driveways, but at times, the guys did clean out some driveways.
Isn't he on the volunteer fire department?
Especially
Yeah, I see fire trucks.
Fire truck just went down that way.
Oh, that's the problem.
I seen the red lights going.
Yeah, I
that
was
way.
out there smoking, and I seen red lights, I'm like, what the heck's that? And it come flying through here, yeah.
I bet that's where
You
Jeff
start
is.
light a fire with that cigarette?
No.
Take care of Jeff and
Okay.
Dave. Anyway, so we did clean out some driveways, which is probably not necessarily our responsibility, but if people are blocked in, maybe have a difficult time digging themselves out, but we did go ahead and do that, and I appreciated it that the guys did that. We did use the motor grader. You'll recall that there's a problem with the motor grader. We can't work it real hard because there's a big sprocket and the final drive is about so big that it is worn down and the chain slips on the final drive. John Deere no longer supports that particular machine with selling parts, but I did find a sprocket in a salvage yard that would be for sale, and I or the gentleman were going to bring up that to the council tonight, see if you wanted to spend $135 for a salvaged sprocket about that large, which I think our guys can probably install it. Probably have some more supplies that would go into that, as well as some maybe gaskets or sealer or something to prevent leakage. But if you want to do that, well, you might put that in your thought processes. Last month, we had a discussion with, was it last month, or was it 2 months ago, with Ms. Tapien regarding the cleanup of the house at 107 East Nebraska, and we offered them an opportunity to join in an agreement, and we asked Mr. Lynch to draw up an agreement that they would they were paid monthly, the city would go ahead and pay a contractor to clean that up, but they would participate in monthly payments and do their water bill until that was paid out. I did have a copy of Mr. Lynch's proposed agreement. I think he has some more. I made some copies of that, presented that to the Sapien household, using the anticipated figure of $6,000 to clean that up. And made 2 proposals, one for payment out in a year, 12 months, 12 monthly payments. $6,000 divided by 12 months is $500 a month. The other contract was $6,000 divided by 18 months, which comes out to $333.34 per month.
Now, it looks like a ladder truck just went by and it had a full crew.
I'm sorry, you say fire trucks have gone by?
Yeah. Ladder truck just went by and it had a full crew in it, so.
Okay. So, I mentioned, I thought they had, I thought it was appropriate for them to see the contract before and we hadn't even approved it here yet. But I thought they had the right to see what we were talking about, at least under that. This evening, I received a call from Mrs. Loopy Sapien, telling me they cannot afford that, and now they're proposing that they borrow some machinery from Giesling's. Most of these people are employed by the Giesling farms, and they can clean it up, but not themselves. I asked them what their time frame was on that, and she said, well, maybe 2 weeks. So that's going to have to be cleaned up to our satisfaction, and when they haul that, when Giesling haul that, it has to go to Hutchinson to the landfill. There will be a tipping fee to unload that there. So if they can do that in 2 weeks, like I said, they've had quite a bit of time already. So that's the news on there. You can ponder that and see how you feel about that. We have not approved the contract that Mr. Lynch had drawn up for us. And I suppose he had some copies to distribute for it. I'm at 12 minutes after. What's the consensus? If we go, I think Dana will not be here. We're waiting on Jeff and Gabe, and they're both on the fire department.
Yeah, because Gabe was born. Okay, I'll let him know. That's what we saw you guys go by, so we can't do. Okay, thanks. Alright, bye. He said he'd be here in 10 minutes, they disregarded him. He did get called out on fire, but, and he did leave here after something. He's at school.
I'm sorry, Gabe will not be.
Gabe will be here about 7:30, but Jeff they're coming back because they disregarded the fire, so he
Jeff's
said.
on his way back?
He is on his way back, he said about 10 minutes, they got the fire truck up and then he'll be back here. He was walking in and they got called out on the fire.
Okay, we have, we're 12 minutes or 14 minutes late already. Do you wish to wait another 10 minutes? Or
I mean, he said he'd be here in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
do you wish to wait another 10 minutes for?
Yeah, because if not, it'll be next week.
That's right. We will wait.
We can control fires. Or not.
We eventually talked about changing one of our ordinances ordinances with regard to residential and property ownership requirements for service on this board. Off the record, have you drawn up something for us to consider?
I do, I've got a couple versions of that.
Okay, you have that available for us this evening,
Yes.
so, all right, thank you. Hadn't heard that before.
I'm kinda glad I went out there. I was smoky and seen them go. I mean, if I didn't, we would have been here waiting and then it would have probably got canceled.
You give them cigarettes by some event,
Oh, yeah, it's
we
fun.
wind up losing along like that.
Oh yeah, what is that, the Spitless?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wanna try one?
I've had it before. It's not bad. I've never heard of that brand though.
You just stick it in your, you just stick, just swallow it.
Thank you. Yeah, I've heard of them. I mean,
Come back and you see the light.
yeah, I've never heard of that brand though.
These last, 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's not bad.
You're not smoking in that new van. Yeah, you are.
Oh, trust me. I wish it wasn't so freaking muddy outside because that van would be spotless right now.
We just rent a van and you do that.
Remind me. Talking about it, we're not ready to remind, but
Yeah.
It'll be just like my Accord. I'll own the dang thing until I total it or it gives out. Well, my dang Accord for 10 years. I don't generally get rid of vehicles.
Yeah, I know, but still.
And again, if I go back to Missouri to visit Chrissy's mom, I might not have that as long as I hope.
We went to Missouri and we stopped to smoke out there when people smoke.
Well, no, freaking, we went to Jefferson, which I didn't know is the capital of Missouri. Oh my God, those guys don't know how to drive. They're worse than freaking Wichita.
Yeah. He gets first. Oh.
So your mom mentioned what souvenirs she's bringing me?
Mm-mm. They stopped in
What, a horse trailer?
Tennessee, I think. Or
You go out of town, you gotta bring souvenirs.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, I didn't know
Did
that.
Dad say they stopped?
Yeah. They're in Florida City, or Panama City.
Bonifay, which they went to Panama. They didn't do much. Freaking everywhere.
We went
Which,
to the ocean.
yeah, everywhere wanted to charge them for parking.
I want one of those little tacky seashell things, you know, with a crucifix in it and all.
Last time they went to Panama, they brought me a shot glass back. It had a Confederate flag on it. And it said something Rebel, Panama City. And I'm like, ain't no freaking, or not Rebel, redneck. I was like, ain't no dang rednecks down in Panama City. Not hillbilly rednecks.
Okay.
Have you ever freaking priced anything in Panama? Damn, dude.
Can't say I've really been there, but I've been close.
A hotel room in Panama cost you about $400.
Panama or Panama City?
Panama City
No.
area. I went down there when I was a young one, shortly after a hurricane for my birthday. And like, you know, those beautiful, like 20-story hotels right off the beach. It was like 2 weeks after a hurricane hit. The beach was nasty. And you look at those freaking hotels, bud, and the whole freaking wall facing the ocean was just gone. You could see in the rooms and everything. Hurricane just wiped them out.
Yeah.
They have it's a tourist attraction. It looks like a pirate boat. And they fire fake cannons and you throw jellyfish off to the dolphins, or jelly beans off to the dolphins. That was funny as heck. And then somehow or another, I got suckered into getting into a single prop plane because my grandpa was lived right across a small airport and friends with everybody over there and used to fly himself. And hey, this white boy don't fly. This white boy do not like planes. I got suckered into that. And then the guy that took me up was a flight instructor. He goes, "Oh, so you want to fly this thing? Well, just let's go with the yoke." And I like to freak. Oh god. Nope.
Yeah.
And then my grandpa and grandma. My grandpa and grandma didn't know that I'm allergic to fish, both saltwater and freshwater.
Do fish not just like crustaceans or something?
No fish, period.
Really?
Mamas too. And they
Saltwater fish or freshwater or any fish?
any. Alligator, crawdads.
Well, that'd be a crustacean, but yeah.
Yeah, but here you go. My grandpa and grandma didn't know it. They took me to, it was a restaurant in the shape of a ship. I don't know why, you know, frickin' Panama has this big fascination from pirate ships, but, and they mostly served fish. And they felt so bad. They didn't know I was allergic to fish.
Sounds like a bad story.
I had fun. I mean, I will admit. I mean, my grandpa and grandma tried, you know.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't know I was afraid of heights, so, you know, my grandpa arranged for me to get in a little prop engine and plane. You know, I admit, looking back at it as I've matured, it was interesting and fun and scary as hell.
Something new.
Yeah, scary as hell, but fun. You know, I mean, they tried. I don't really know a lot of my relatives. Never cared to. Hell, my grandma, when she died, I don't think we talked 10 years. Only relatives I really talked to, mom and dad.
My wife wants to bring her grandkids from California out for summer period of time. And I think, oh, they're going to love this. Take them out and see wildlife, and go to the lake and rivers and mess around, doing stuff I like. But then she got to mention, she said, they're from LA. They have no idea. And I go, they probably would hate it. And I got to think about it.
If they don't have one of these or a TV or something.
And I thought,
What we find amusing and fun is sitting on the porch, enjoying the wildlife, enjoying the
yeah, and they would be just probably bored. It might open their eyes, but more than likely, it's probably a bad idea.
I was like the two young ones that were with me. We're talking about moving to Kentucky eventually, and they think it's boring in Turon. Hell, frickin' wait till we have 20, 30 acres and no neighbors. You know, sitting in the middle of frickin' forest.
Learn how to make fun. As a kid, all I did was go out and catch lizards and snakes and tadpoles. You know?
I used to go
That
out
was
in
the
the
whole
woods
thing I
for
did.
hours and hours at a time. Get hungry, find a squirrel, kill it, cook it over a little bonfire I made, you know.
Yeah.
In winter time, oh, it's too cold, it's snowy. Heck no, we used to go frickin' screw around on the ponds that were frozen over. Oh, but you might fall in. Oh, trust me, we fell in.
Yeah.
We used to take folding chairs out on the frickin' pond.
Did a backpacking trip, when a lot younger, in the winter, in New Mexico. And that was pretty good. Used to backpack.
If my lungs could handle it, I would.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it ain't even the smoking. The smoking doesn't affect my lungs. It's the pressure differences and the moisture. Bronchial tubes are narrow. But, you know, frickin', heck, I used to love it, you know. I remember one year we took, my friend's dad had a car that didn't run. It was a piece of shit. And we didn't have a sled, but he had a big freaking hill, probably a good, I'd say 200 foot downhill. We took freaking the car hood off and he's
Oh, yeah.
oh, we hated pulling
That
that.
my cousins out at the farm behind a tractor. You know.
We hated pulling that son of a bitch back up the mountain, out of the hill, you know. We'd had 2 ropes attached to it, so we both pulled. Man, we hated pulling it back up that freaking hill, but it was fun as hell riding it down.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's probably an old Ford or something. It kind of had that crease in the center.
It was an old, what is it, Monte Carlo. An early 90s, late 80s.
Oh, wow.
Big hood.
That was probably smooth.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Oh, that thing would freaking
had
spin
no keel
around.
to it.
Yeah, spin around and shit. We'd get sicker down on the something. Oh, yeah. Now they like, not two that live with me. If they ain't got this up their ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like, just turn the damn phone off. My phone's not been on charge all freaking day.
That's why I gotta turn mine off. 'Cause
My phone's at 65%. The bad thing is, I can check what their phones are at. Let's see here. 38 and 35%.
yeah.
You know, my phone's not been on charge all day. It's at 65%. You know. But they're not happy unless they're on the dang phone looking at TikTok,
He's here, he's getting ready to come in.
YouTube, or whatever, you know. Always gotta be on that phone. Drives me nuts. I'm like, well, you're on your computer all the time. I'm on my computer taking care of business. There's a difference.
Yeah, I'm trying to do a real estate deal. I gotta turn this on.
It go off.
Good evening, one and all. This is the January meeting of the City Council of the City of Turon. Now that we have a quorum, I will call the meeting to order. Very good. Who's here?
Jeff Kearns?
Christine Silver.
Open Green.
I'm kind of thinking maybe Gabe will show up in a little bit of time yet, but there'll be a little bit. At the moment, we do have a quorum, and so we'll proceed.
I do have some items to add to the agenda.
Okay, carry on.
Would it be possible, I need to add Andrew hearing?
Yep.
Hearing and elaborate the guest speakers. No. Sorry.
You're adding. Andrew, and what the other one?
Elaborate.
Okay.
And could you move guest speakers up to the list of the agenda?
Okay. Where you want that?
Can we just do after the bills? And then I just want to add the sheriff and fire department appreciation gifts for the clerk.
Any other changes to the agenda?
Sheriff, and what you want?
Fire department.
I don't know where to
Agenda is
add it.
presented.
I don't know where to add it at, but we probably ought to add the people riding forward in the park.
Want to do two new business?
Okay.
Anything else to add to the agenda? Got that under new business, Jeff?
I guess, yeah.
Anything else to add to the agenda? A motion to approve?
I'll make a motion, we approve the agenda.
I second that.
Aye.
You should have before you the minutes, unapproved minutes of the December 9th meeting. I will call them to your attention. additions or corrections on the minutes?
Motion to approve the December 9th minutes.
Second. Aye.
You have before you the bills. Some others to this. Any questions about the unpaid bills?
Is there a reason why that fourth Festus bill was higher?
Yes, so Ezra turned in a jacket and they marked it as ruined, so then they gave him a completely new jacket and charged us for it. For the emblems and prepping it, even though it didn't make sense. So I can try fighting that one again, if you'd like me to.
Well, don't they do that like every month?
I'm getting real tired of doing that. Because they're not getting it right.
Just keep that from.
Okay, then I will bring that one up again too.
Which item is that?
The fourth Festus bill, because it's different price.
Any other questions or comments?
This is a Skyline fuel bill.
Yes. We get fuel from. Just one more. It's just, they didn't get very much fuel.
Make a motion. Approve the paying the unpaid bills.
Second.
Aye.
Report.
Well,
No, we're going to guest speaker.
Guest speakers is next.
Sorry?
Guest speakers.
The speakers are next. Okay, who is the guest
Evening.
speaker? Come right up here.
Hey, I'm Andrew. I was here maybe 4 or 5 years ago with the water tower, water well projects. I recognize some of you, but I stopped by, I think that was just yesterday, talked to Everett and Irwin, and Michaela was in there as well. And what we like to do, so I should say, I was previously with BG Consultants out of Manhattan. I've since moved to Hutchburn Engineering Consultants. So I know Brent England has been out here to help with buildings in Turon, but I'm kind of heading up the civil department. So that's kind of my story. The move, I didn't change geographically, but with the new company. So no longer with BG, with EC. We just like for small communities to do some legwork where we show up and just kind of plan out what infrastructure needs to be done over the next 10, 20 years, nothing pressing. And so I given that to Michaela. I don't know if that made it into your packet, but this is just something to have you all look at and think over the next couple of months or years even. We just know that by word of mouth you hear about some of the problems, but it's just good to get Everett and Irwin in the same room and just kind of talk through everything that has been going wrong, that's going well. The general overview of that, sewer, water, you guys are doing very well, especially compared to communities around here. Your water seems to be in good shape, according to them, and the sewer has some infiltration problems, but they have you on a maintenance schedule to get that lined, and so that's really good. Something that might be coming up is dredging the lagoons. That $50,000 is maybe on the high side of what you could get it for, but we just didn't want to underestimate. So that's something to keep in mind, an expenditure that'd be coming out of the sewer bill. And then just thinking about future projects, it seemed like things are in pretty good shape now. The one thing that kind of came up in that meeting was maybe a community center or something with this building in particular. I know it currently houses friendship meals, right, and things like that. Is there desire or need to do renovations? Is there a desire or ability to build a new building? And that's not something we're necessarily saying you should for sure do, but just to think about communities in the area. Partridge, if you know, just built a new community center. That allowed them to free up their current library community center to be all City Hall, and so City Hall could expand a little bit. I think Michaela was saying that this building uses a lot of heat, and so even just if you thought about a lot of money on heat, if you just thought about, man, we're spending all this every month, could we do a bigger project to get a newer building, and better insulation alone would be saving you money. So again, we're not saying, hey, this is something you need to jump on right away. The CDBG project that we had done, the grants, you can't apply for another 5 years, so you're back into the realm where you could apply if you wanted to apply for government funding. We would bring in grant writers. Rosemary out of Pratt does a really good job, if that's something you want to pursue. So our big thing is just kind of to connect you with the right people if it's ever something you want to do. We're in the area, we're around, so we're glad to stop by if you need more information. But that's, I guess, if there's a spiel, that's our only spiel. Is we're here and we're happy to be helpful if the council, I just know there's council turnover, people don't know everything that's been happening, and so it's good to just have a face that is consistent. So are there any questions, anything
You've left some business cards at the office?
I left a full resume, so those are some of the projects we've worked on, and I'll send a PDF copy of it to you, and I can send Brent as well. If we're thinking community center, that's going to be right up engineering consultants alley, more than even BG was, because they do buildings. That's their main thing, is structural analysis and building buildings, so they would have the contacts and the teams to make that happen, maybe even more efficiently than BG could. So that would be one project that would be helpful. Everything else I think is in pretty good shape for at least for the upcoming year and hopefully years into the future. Like I said, I'll be in the area, so I'll be stopping in probably once a year still and checking with Everett as long as he's around and making sure that things are good. So, but yeah, any other questions, anything? I don't want to take more time than I have to.
When a municipality builds a new community building, community service activity, or what do they do with the old buildings? What did Partridge do?
So Partridge is, they had a fairly small building operating as City Hall and their library, so they moved the library out, and now all of that building is City Hall. It still needs a little bit of renovations in it and that kind of thing that they're trying to get some funding for, but it just gave them a lot more space. So the question really you're getting after is, what do we do with this building? What's the best thing to do with this school?
Small towns in Kansas, every one of them has an old school building.
And Arlington's in the same position. They're using their building.
The old high school building burned a few years ago, and I think it's still sitting there. I haven't driven past it.
So, I mean, that's really up to the council on what you want to do. I think demo of some buildings is a possibility if it's, and this building is so historical we can't see it getting taken out, then we can figure the pricing for renovating, but that's usually difficult to do. And if it's anything structural, it gets expensive, and so I think that's some of what we've been dealing with this building in particular is.
We had a fire in a house several months ago, and the contractor is bidding around $5,000 or more just to clean up one small house. Now, if we build to build a new community building, then we have to make a decision of what to do with this. You're looking at many times $5,000. And I don't want to sit this one here and watch it fall down like the others are doing.
That's kind of my feeling on some of the old buildings as well, is they don't get stronger over time, and so the funds, the way that CDBG works is they give $600,000 for a city this size, and then you kind of make up the difference through bonding or loans. So if it wanted to be a new building plus a demo, you just are going to be taking out more money for the demo. And we can help you through all that. That's something the communities are doing. I know the city of Burton, they had some historical buildings that they had to bring in professionals to demo just because it's too dangerous to even to get, you have to use large excavators even to get close and get started because of the fear of the whole thing collapsing on you guys. So there's people that do that kind of work and are experts in that, and so we can be helpful with all that. Again, if it's there's maybe more pressing matters in town, but we just want to be helpful with that aspect. Take one thing off your plate, know that there's at least somebody who can give you answers if you have questions. That's where we want to be. So, but I guess if nothing else, I'm glad to stop back by for another council meeting. I think maybe with that in front of you, if you all who have been here a while, if you think of other problems and want to add to the list, feel free to let Michaela know and she can have that added to the list. But we'll keep that on file in case it ever were to get lost. And so if you're ever like, what's up at the town, how can we'll have that for you. So,
Questions? Comments? Discussion?
Question.
yes.
So you're local and you go around to all the towns to
Yeah.
see what needs to be done and updated, that sort of thing?
For the most part, we just, yeah, usually once a year I'll make the rounds. A lot of communities don't need anything every year.
You're a new startup, correct?
No, so I've been doing this about 8 years, but I recently moved to a new company. So I was here 5 years ago for the tower project in the well, very similar. But I was kind of a protege at that time. Now I'm kind of doing this on my own, which is a little more fun than being an underling. So, but yeah, we'll be around. So and be in touch if anything happens. So feel free to reach out. And like I said, I'll get PDF copies if you want to see that print out. So nothing else. I can let you all go. Thank you for letting me join. I do like the new layout. I think this is working. I don't know if there's been comment about it. The last time I think it was in the corner, and now it's
Thank
this
you
way.
for
So,
stopping by. Appreciate your help.
Thank you.
thank you.
When we're in guest speakers, I will take a look at the library board and see if treasurer of the library board is here. We recognize Mrs. Jones.
Okay,
Report.
just a couple of quick things. The first is, and I'll pass this around, it's just a request that, and we're required to ask that the city council approve the appointment of a new library board member. Our previous member, one of the previous members, Monica Romy, moved out of the area and out of our catchment area. And we are asking that she be replaced by Sherry Michael. Sherry is lives here in Turon. She's, as I understand it, a reading specialist. And anyway, if you have any questions, I honestly don't know her, so I can't give you a lot of information on her. But she came highly recommended to us. And then the other thing, there was some discussion that the Turon Library Board was to present its budget to you. And what I passed around is the budget. It says proposed budget for 2025, but it was approved by the board at our meeting on Monday, January 13th. If you'll look, the categories, the bolded ones are what we're proposing for this year. For instance, on last year, the wages were $7,200, and what we budgeted was $7,200. What we're asking to be budgeted this year is $7,500. The reason for that is we did raise the librarian's wage from $10.50 to $11 a few months ago. So we are needing a little bit extra. Last year of the $7,200, we spent $6,945.18 of it for wages. Other than that, it all falls pretty much within the same area. It's the same budgeted amount. We did move a few things around a little bit though. I don't know if you have any questions on the budget. I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Forgive my ignorance, but you approve your own budget, where it's not up to us to approve.
Yes, no, actually the city does not, council does not need to approve our budget. There was some discussion earlier among some people that said that they thought it was required by law, but we checked on that and it is not required by law that you approve it. But I thought it would be beneficial that you know what
Appreciate
it
it
is.
for you to turn that in.
So,
Questions for the library board while you have a representative here? You wish to consider the appointment to the board now, or you wish to bring that up in new business?
I make a motion we approve Sherry Michaels for the library board.
Second.
Aye.
thank you.
Any other questions for the library board?
Yeah, do you have any questions for the lawyer? We're open.
Okay.
Come on down.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Any other guest speakers available here? Anything on? Let's give the mayor's report. Pretty much given it already. Oh, the treasurer, she had her chance. Jump up, Madam Treasurer.
Okay. As of December 31st, the balance for the checking account was $106,259.82. The balance of the savings account was $53,090.07. So the available cash on December 31st was $159,349.80. And the profit loss had a deficit of $2,605.09. I just wanted to also today, because this is as of December 31st, I checked our checking account, and our balance is down to $98,000. Because we're still doing business before we get to our meeting. So that amounts to obsolete $106,000. I just wanted to tell you that we still doing business, we're still spending money. But I'll try to do that each month. During meetings. Okay? And then I also ran a year-to-date P&L and balance sheet. And the spreadsheet. And I kind of wanted to explain the spreadsheet because I'm hoping just to make sure everybody understands it. That this is really just a comparison of what we did against the budget. Because how much we brought in, how much we spent. And then it compares all that to the budget. And shows you what we had left in the budget. But that remaining budget is not actual money that we have. It's just a comparison. I didn't know if everybody understood that or not. We wouldn't want to spend $58,000 just to look at the
Refresh my memory, on the P&L sheet, Aaron, you had some handwritten items. Here's the 1, 2, 3, third one down says highway. Where does that money come from and where does it go? What is that fund?
Well, we get, money runs from the county for the highway. Is that right? Okay.
Well, we turned over, we had a contract with the state, with KDOT not too long ago. And instead of them paying us to maintain 61, they were gonna do it. And we were out of that, so I don't know what this one is.
Okay, so we get money in from Randall County.
I don't believe we get it from the state, just from Reno County for highway. The streets and
It's not for the
highways.
highway, it's for our streets.
So for the streets that are county roads,
Yeah.
which would be priced,
No, it's for the city streets.
Right.
and then the county provides that to us, or the state,
Yeah.
or who owns the source?
It's tax money.
Tax money.
Tax from where?
From Reno County.
Reno County. And is this the amount that we expended? Is it $6,000?
No, that's what they give us. It's 6,000.
It was in, that's an income item?
That's how much we received last year. Right.
6,873, just like it is on the front page. But that's what we pay for the rock when we rock the streets and
Okay.
stuff out of it.
But,
That's why we had to ever get rocked.
I don't get that confused in my mind with the stuff for, the monies that are used for K, for
No.
361
It's
highway.
for-
Which comes from KDOT.
so like, on the income part, for the highway, we received $6,800 last year.
And we spent 8,000.
Yes.
Any other questions for the city treasurer? Going once, twice. I will add to the mayor's report, what I've already reported. And that I've been in contact with Hudson Community Foundation and with Interfaith Housing Services of Reno County. Both of them will be working on some grant applications there. Hopefully, providing some more information once they're available on grants that are available to homeowners and communities here. That's still a work in progress, in addition to what I already reported to you about. What are you up to?
So the spring conference is coming up in March, so I'm bringing it to you guys. I would tell you what the agenda is, but they have not released it yet.
At the spring conference of
For the city clerks, the CCMFOA. I can tell you what all it means, but I can't.
it's coming out in March. You're proposing that we send it to them?
Sorry, you're asking me a question.
You're good, because it's not on this one.
So I'm just asking, it's March 18th through 21st in Manhattan. That's why the line is a little high.
Proposing that the city of Turon would benefit greatly if we send you there.
Well, I think I benefit from the conference at least quite a bit. I mean, talking to the other clerks and what they do teach us there, that's helped me quite a bit. Like I said, I don't know what the agenda is for this one.
We have a, I think this is your proposed budget.
March 18th through 21st.
This is your proposed budget.
Yeah.
It's cheap with some, not a lot of entries on it. Proposed budget for expenses there.
They were trying to do it now, so you get the hotel room free with the project.
Yeah. And because the early registration, because if we wait till next month, then it's more expensive. I can wait.
I make a motion we approve for Michaela to go to Manhattan, March 18th through the 21st for training with the cost of $1,000, $1,058.40.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Next item is,
So, you guys wanted me to reach out to accountants to see about some help. And I did. I reached out to Chris Roberts and Pratt, who I reached out to before. And then I actually talked to our accountant doing our W-2s. And Chris Roberts, he is $120 an hour, but he's not exactly familiar with municipalities. And what we need help with, I think he could help, but I'm not sure how much. The accountant that we're doing our W-2s with has actually been tremendous help already, and she hasn't charged us for the help she's done. But she's $125. She did come to the office and we talked to her about what was going on, and she did give us some insight to the problems and has actually fixed them. But we're both kind of in agreement that she's pretty knowledgeable.
She's easy to communicate
She will
with.
come to the office with you.
Yeah, she's in Pratt.
she's the lady that does the W-2s.
Yeah.
And what was her name?
Monica Baker. I mean, she has people that, on her team that knows QuickBooks really well, that knows, my spreadsheets, my specifically, so she's already helped us. But I just wanted to bring to you guys that I talked to some, we did have help from the one over the other.
I need to review in my mind what it was that we actually wanted the accountant to do.
Just for help in the office, like with our spreadsheet and with like
They have to,
our bookkeeping and stuff.
she's not doing it at this point, we're not asking her to do an audit or,
No.
not yet.
I don't know. Asking.
She's the one we're using now.
For WCs.
Is she in her own office, and is she run her own store, run her own business?
Yeah,
She's not employed by, she's the employer,
yeah.
and that's people working for her. I believe Jan just took the letters that were sent to Monica Baker, Mr. Candidate, a W-2 and stuff is,
Who's doing the accounting stuff now?
We don't have one.
Okay.
I mean, the guy that we brought in his budget.
Yeah.
Right. And we have a contract with them
Just for the budget.
for the budget, so that's some on board information. Okay.
And he doesn't help us with bookkeeping, he outsourced it. So we would be able to use him.
It would just be nice to have somebody to contact when we run into an issue and to get answers.
So we're gonna make a motion on it, or?
I mean, we don't call it every day.
And she says that if it can be a short fix, she would be in charge.
She can do it in 10 minutes. After that, it's 125.
I'll make a motion, we use Monica Baker as the accountant.
I second that.
Aye.
Aye.
anything else in the book?
Yes, so the sheriff and fire department appreciation gift.
Is that what two people?
So, yeah, last year for the sheriff, we did the bags, and then for the fire department, we did the gift cards. I do not remember how much we did, but I did one for $10.
Or it's on at one. I like those books, 'cause we had some people get all. I'd have to get back to you on that.
Okay, 'cause I don't know, if you know, I'm sure. I
You
didn't
need
know.
always call them.
Yeah, she's the one who reminded me.
Yeah, he
She
can make
said
the
that-
purchase and put it all together.
She
I
said
would-
if you guys still want her to do it, like she did last year, she can.
Okay.
We have an idea what the total dollar amount expenditure was from last year.
I would have to look back because I did not double check. But I just wanted it brought up. So I know we need to.
When I know you use one.
I think she said by Valentine's Day? I think by Valentine's Day. I could try to look real quick and see if I
I
can.
know you always said an amount, and she never spent that amount, and then that on the gift bags.
Is there a deadline on it? Does it have to be now?
I think it's for before that. I think that's when she said. I could try to run it once the last year's mail.
I'll go through the next one.
Um,
For 5 anyway.
Yeah.
It's set it all out in the bags, but she never spends that much.
How many people in the fire department?
I'm asking.
I'm sorry?
I'm asking.
You're asking?
We had a couple people get off, so I don't know.
I didn't give as many, I didn't give every sheriff's deputy and had maybe 4 or 5 deputies kind of the ones that work this part of the county.
I would say just look back, see if you can look back real quick and see what we did last year, and we just try to go with that. We have 11 on the roster with 10 of us active. Either we didn't get the part one done, or they didn't get their training bills done online.
Okay. So it was $20 each for the gift cards.
20?
Yes. And then it was a limit of $400 for gift baskets.
Okay, we have 11 on the roster and 10 active. So,
What did you say you get basket?
400.
That's her all together. Yeah, she knows.
so I guess let's just approve it for 11 gift cards. And then I can give you a list of names, or easy list of names. Or whoever.
I make a motion that we get, gift cards for 11, private people at $20. And then, a limit of $400 for gift baskets for the sheriff's department.
I second that.
Aye.
And that's all I have.
Good news, Phyllis?
Well, not yet. I've got a proposed part of ordinance, but that has to be passed by 2/3 of the governing body. And so I would need 3.3 people here to be able to do anything on that.
We can postpone that till next month.
If Gabe makes it in, we can bring it up,
What's
otherwise.
the procedure on that? Is that posted and then, does that go for public discussion or?
It needs to be,
Because we have,
okay. Yeah, and then published for 2
tentatively
weeks.
approve it and then it's published and we approve it again or?
Well, it gets approved, published, and there's 60 days that run, and then after that, that's when it takes effect.
Is there public outcry against it?
I think the public will file a petition against it. You're familiar with that procedure. You got good time.
Perfect.
I updated the dates on these, so it'll be one of these two when it gets passed. I've marked them A and B. This is, we've changed the qualifications to be city council member to include living in the surrounding communities if they own property within Turon. I think it's better to remove that requirement. So there are 2 different versions of it. A is they've got to be basically a resident qualified elector of the city itself. Or B, they can either be a resident qualified elector of the city or a resident qualified elector of one of the immediate surrounding townships. Takes away the requirement of owning property within the city on that second one. A would match up with kind of the standard rule.
A is what we were before, but we just tried to open it up some.
Correct.
A is city only.
Correct.
I think we have to go back to
And I didn't mark yours. Okay. Because I,
You want my copy from that? I just.
this one. This one. would be A. Yeah. But I wouldn't.
I'm not gonna write on that.
Yeah. This one would be- this one would be A.
We still have to be registered voters.
You have to be registered.
You have to be I'd have to look at the definition of qualified elector to me. Remember exactly what that means, but I think so.
What was your comment? They have to be?
Yeah.
So the notion that, the situation doesn't really say that.
I think that's the county
This-
got that.
This would be
You can't even apply without being a
2025-1.
registered voter. Danny, I think when you go to the county, you can't even apply without being a registered voter, because they have to look it up and prove that you are.
Well, and I know, like, for my spot as county attorney, it matters what party I'm registered with, you know, where you run, what primary, and everything, so.
I don't think so on the, I don't want to ask what party, you just have to be a legal registered voter.
Any further questions for Mr. Lynch? Proposals A and or B, and Do you wish to ponder this for a month, or do you wish to take any action?
Make a motion, we go with charter ordinance.
The 2025-1. I just marked them A and B to, so we can talk about it, but the number would be 2025-1.
I make a motion that we accept the charter ordinance 2025-1.
Or adopt.
Adopt. Charter ordinance number 2025-1.
Form A or Form B?
Form A.
Okay.
But that doesn't.
City residents only.
I know, but so we, because
But
either way, it would be 2020-1, so we do have to clarify which one. So it would be Form A that I meant to vote on. That you do have to be a citizen of Turon to be elected for city council.
Second on that?
Aye.
Aye.
Lynn, she will guide us through the procedure for publishing that, or?
It gets published once a week for 2 weeks. It's actually
Where in particular is the record adequate?
the rest, yep.
Did you wish to comment further, or discuss that agreement?
Yeah, I'll mention that. And then Kid, you can sign that ordinance too. You and
I'm
Michaela.
sorry?
You and Michaela need to sign that. The other issues that I had for this meeting, put together a proposed agreement with the owners of the house that burned down. The mayor talked to them. They decided they'd rather do it on their own. They didn't like the price that was in there, and they've indicated maybe they can get that done in the next couple of weeks.
Jeff, did you hear my discussion on that? Were you here? Maybe not. Danny had sent us over copies of this proposed agreement between the city and Zappian family. And I thought it was appropriate to include them in what we were talking about before we asked them to sign it, have a chance to look at it. So I had 2 copies of it. I had some, Mr. Lynch left blank spaces to be filled in with the exact figures. We had been talking, we had a proposal for a little over $5,000 a bid from a couple of contractors to remove that. And then we had talked here informally about maybe mandating a garage go down as well, which was about something maybe $7,000. I took a $6,000 figure and put that on an empty blank in the form. And there were 2 options, either pay that out monthly over 1 year's time, or pay it out monthly over 18 months' time, year and a half. $6,000 divided by 12 months is $500 a month. $6,000 divided by 18 months is $333 a month. I delivered those 2 to Zappian residents, I think it's just yesterday, but I talked to Loopy, the gentleman, the husband, who I've known for a long time, to be good. We had a nice conversation about it. I invited him to also bring in Loopy, the female, from, who had been here translating here previously. And so they were going to look at all the work. And I told them that the meeting was here tonight. This evening, I got a call from Mrs. Loopy, Mrs. Manuel Zappian, and they have concluded that either the big bidder of $500 or $333 is beyond families are interested. Now she's wondering if they can just get one of these ones, machinery to come in and they can clean it up themselves. I asked her when they could do that, and she said maybe 2 weeks. And you believe that? Well, excuse me, I'm very skeptical about that. Whether that can be done, but she did say that maybe 2 weeks. So, what is your pleasure now? You want to coerce them into signing something else, or do you want to allow another 2 weeks? They've had multiple 2-week periods already, although the easement machinery may be a little more free and available. I'm not being farm use right now. It might be available more than it would have been earlier. Tell me what you want to do and speak up about what you think needs to be done there.
What do you feel we should do on this, Danny?
Well, so if we proceed under the housing code violation, we give notice of the issue, set up for a hearing where they come before the council, request a hearing. And then at that point, we could eventually issue an order for it to be removed, demolished, and then they'd get time to do that.
Can
So
we send
it's-
them some letter saying that if it's not removed by the next meeting, we're gonna proceed with this?
I think the
route?
way I do it is just if it's not removed by the next proceeding, you guys tell me to start that proceeding.
I think if you scared them a little bit, maybe they'd do something. If we just let it go, the next 2 weeks is not real pleasant weather.
Yeah.
So,
I've personally received complaints from other parties, miscellaneous trash and such on that lot, not necessarily related to the fire, the house debris, hoping that was going to be cleaned up as well when the house debris was cleaned up. I was kind of hoping that as well, which that all into the truck and could maybe be gone.
I probably would have donated some time and helped do that, but I have to move around my skid steer moving snow for Turon. Donating time moving snow for Turon. So I am stuck at the moment. Or I would have maybe helped them speed that up to see it get done, but I'm worried if we don't do nothing, then it just, it'll be there in that month.
Well, like I said, when we file those ordinances or those complaints, we're hoping the person takes care of it themselves. So, I mean, I can have
So
it.
do we go ahead and file that? And
I can have it ready.
can we file it and set the date out just a little farther since we're dealing with a different situation?
We can have it set up and have it set for here in like the March council meeting where they get something. And then if they haven't corrected it, haven't showed up in that March hearing, we give the order at that point. And that would give them notice that the city's still looking to do something, still give them some time to fix it on their own.
Did we get that worded like, we're just doing this so that it gives you time to do something on your own? If nothing's done by March, we're gonna have to handle this?
Yeah, so the notice will say, here's what we're alleging. You can either fix the problem yourself, nothing happens, or show up at this hearing in front of the council at the March meeting.
Seems like a long time ago, but I guess.
In those, going through those steps, it gives them a lot of notice on both ends of it. And then on that same note, you provided us the pictures and stuff.
I did.
We've got a complaint drafted. We're working with Judge to figure out what date he can have municipal court. And once we get that date set, we'll get that filed and get that served on him. So we're working on that. We don't have it filed yet, but we are working on getting that there.
If it would help you all, I have 4 more from yesterday where Manny and the individual who lives at 300 Burns were over there scrapping the copper wire and plumbing out of the house. I mean, if they can do that, they could surely clean the yard. But anyway, if you would like those, I can get those for you too. Not that, I don't know whether it make any difference or not.
I think what you provided, we got our case off that, and I appreciate that. But
Okay, no, I thank y'all for the efforts. I agree, it's been long enough, but
We also gotta be careful that we follow some guidelines and not get sued or something for.
I understand, yes. Honestly, I was at the,
Hope they would want to tear down the garage there on 107 East Nebraska. The phone conversation I've had indicates no, they want to keep the garage. I guess we can't force them to tear it down.
No, we can only force them to vacate.
I think that's the extent of what I have for you guys tonight, unless there's something I'm forgetting from last meeting.
Okay, did you wish to instruct Mr. Ross as to what course of action you want him to pursue with regard to this, he need to draw up notifications
Yep.
to the parties?
Motion on that.
No.
Must be completed by March.
Will be either fixed, or if it's not fixed, they need to show up at the March meeting and have their hearing in front of council at that point.
Is that your instructions for Mr. Lynch?
All right, thank you guys.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Any more discussion from Mr. Lynch? With that, questions,
I just like to
comments?
get it preferably and told him to drive the cell phone, she's fine.
That's twice when it goes off.
Would you want us to come to your house if your house is on fire? Oh, okay, what's your address, let me write it down.
Building inspector will be there.
We'll have a building inspector,
And the property inspector. will be there.
property officer, we'll have an inspector.
Anything else for Mr. Lynch?
Nope.
Anything else? Questions for Mr. Lynch? It's a cold and dark, stormy night, maybe you want to, you're welcome to stay.
I'll leave that up to you guys. If you want to kick me out, I won't argue with you. If you want me to stick around,
I'm supposed to.
Thank you for your service.
I'll do that. Okay.
I'll see.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm gonna move on to water bill hearings. The chief will hear.
I'll come here and get you.
Hold on. That's a little
I
bit.
go too.
There's no more water bill hearings?
Yeah, if it's a notice deal,
No,
it's a legal matter.
No, he just talked about the four-wheelers in the park.
Okay, I've got that down under new business.
Yeah, but that's really a legal matter.
That could be.
Okay, we can make a motion and move that to,
Would you like to discuss? board
it was a.
I'll make a motion, we move the ATVs in the park to legal matters.
I second that.
Alright.
Okay, talk to me about four-wheelers in the park.
I believe it was Judy Bradshaw's grandkids, but they were in town this weekend, and the whole east end of the park, they went back and forth sledding.
They're calling my four-wheelers and side-by-sides, and this continues to happen up there, with the whole east side of the park. And don't we own clear to the fence in the park? We own clear to the fence in the park, correct?
Yeah.
Clear to Giesling's field. We have signs up that say no driving on the grass. And they go over there and rip around.
I can't remember. Do we have an ordinance set a penalty for that, or any kind
I don't think we have an ordinance for it. I think we probably just need to send them a letter and tell them not to do it again.
of? Well, the one I'm asking about the ordinance, if we set an ordinance and set some kind of penalty with it. When we send the letter, we can say violation as a result of this. So I think we talked about, looking at trespass, or trespass is no parts of the door, but to do a trespass, it has to be complete. You can't do conditional, you can come here, you can't come here.
Put on it, true.
Yeah. So I mean, that's another option too.
I agree on just saying that, tell them not to do, then if we continue to have a complaint, then we'll look at passing an ordinance. Right now, we don't have one.
I don't think we do. Now, there may be,
I thought we did one over here.
you,
As long as you're on the street.
I don't think. No.
And I hate to tell you.
Susie don't. Susie don't got a driver's license. And she goes clear to Cunningham.
There's a consensus here.
I can put a letter together and see what that does to start. Do we have,
It's been probably 3-4 years since they done it last time.
I don't think so. I seen it side by side out there a couple months ago when I went to grab by your house.
do we have contact info on who to send it to or where to send it?
I think I just send it to the house there, to the grandma. That's where they are unloading the.
Judy Bridge.
Yeah.
Okay, what, you know what that address is?
Michaela, Nebraska.
I really think the letter to not do it anymore will be
It says
sufficient.
it's 501. I don't know if that's Nebraska or if that's something.
Yeah, but Michaela will
It's
have
like
it.
501 gun, that mailbox is no gun on this street, not on this street.
Okay.
It's not Judy that's doing it.
No.
Yeah. And I
It's an
think,
extended family.
I think a simple letter will handle it.
Okay.
If it doesn't, we'll take care of it beyond that.
Because I got a kid that would love to go sledding over there.
Bring the boat down.
Just saying.
Bring a boat.
All right. We exhausted that subject.
Okay.
No one's here for water hearings, or no more water hearings,
Yeah, we don't have any.
no water.
All paid.
And I will sneak out.
And our guest speakers already, that will bring us to the property officer. Good evening, young man, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm taking a shot at you later.
No.
Well, there's some fun in that.
Does that mean I'm not doing my job?
They can't do that.
Are you on, you make your rounds?
No, sir. I have already been in touch with the property owner for both of the East Kansas, 110 and 111 East Kansas, and also the vacant lot on East Kansas. And the vehicle has been removed on the vacant lot. And then both of these residences on 110 and 111 are both owned by the young man that lives at 110. Apparently his father owned the one at 111 and got sick and passed away. He inherited it. And there's one vehicle on each. Stopped by there, talked with him about that, and he is making plans to get those removed. And we agreed on a 2-week time period for him to get a chance to get that taken care of. So,
It has been or will be, you think it will be?
I think, at least I'm trusting that he'll take care of it. I told him that if weather prevented, I'd stop back by and we'd talk again, but hopefully it'll get taken care
Refrigerator one too.
of. I'm sorry?
Refrigerator too.
Oh, that's on East Chicago, the refrigerator. I haven't been able to catch them home yet. to talk with them. So, Mrs.
Yeah,
Brand?
and for the person with the 305 East Chicago with that refrigerator,
Uh-huh.
there is a spot for them to remove stuff like that up by the water tower.
Okay.
There's a place for them to dump tires and
Mhm. Okay.
used appliances and stuff, if they don't know that.
Is it by the water tower or is it in by the buildings in?
Up by the water tower.
Yeah, it's like right next to the water
Okay.
tower.
I'll let them know.
And if they need information, you could tell them they can talk to the city guys and,
Yeah, I just referred them to Caleb.
yeah.
Lisa, say letter.
Did Everett step out? Everett, is there still a abandoned lawnmower next to, who you used to own the house on?
Yeah, there's still an abandoned lawnmower in the alleyway.
Yeah, is that still there?
On, Charles,
Yeah, you still own the house there?
no,
Okay, do you have any idea who belongs to the lawnmower or where it's supposed to go? I only asked you because you used to own the house.
huh? McMahon, I don't know whether it's Brandon or I believe it's
Is this
His
the
dad.
lawnmower that's sitting in the alleyway?
Yeah, it's been there for several months. I've had a question or two asked about it. What can we do about that? I don't know if it's operational or not. Okay, I'm sorry to bother you.
I'm
just
sure it's
asked you
not
'cause
operational or it would be stolen.
It's towable, I'm sure.
I'll try to drive down the alleyway and see if I can figure
What
out.
was the address on that house, do you remember?
310 East Kansas. It's in the alleyway behind that house.
It's across the street west of Mrs. Scott's house.
Yeah,
Okay. I'll see if I can get down
Behind
that
that big
alleyway.
white
without
house.
I
getting
don't know who belongs to the,
It ain't that.
East Kansas is, across from Calvary.
it's in the alley between Kansas and
Yeah,
Nebraska.
you know.
West.
It is. It's between Kansas
Yeah.
I received another complaint regarding 107 Nebraska from the gentleman across the street that has filed, he's filed probably 4 or 5 of them. Someone stopped by there yesterday and updated him on the 2-week thing that you were telling us about. He's probably going to ask about Manny living in the garage. Has any,
He was here. He was here.
oh yeah?
Yeah.
She was here, she's back. She's not feeling good.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll just keep my shoes off and not worry about it.
Sit by the fire.
If I had a fire, that'd be cool. That's it, though.
Thank you, sir.
You betcha.
Any questions for property owners? No, it's going twice.
All right. Good night.
Thank you, good evening. Maintenance gentleman, Mr. Higdon, Mr. Birdsong. Give us the pertinent information. Thank you for pushing snow.
okay, on the, you asked me to buy millings. We've got 11 loads of millings ordered from T&W at $380 a load. So that'll take about $4,200 worth. So it is on order, but due to the weather and we don't know when we're gonna put it down, but it is ordered.
It was cheaper than other places, wasn't it?
Yes, he was.
Can we pay for that now?
You have a location in mind where you're gonna put that?
Well, a lot of it's gonna go right on Duncan over here from Price south.
On Duncan Street,
But we did go on last year's.
Price South. Okay.
That's where all the mud and going on around the corner. And of course, that'll leave me, I hope, 1 to 2 loads by the water tower, so I have something to repair spots later on. As some of you heard earlier, we found the mayor found a gear for the grader. $135 for a used gear to keep that chain from jumping so we can use a grader, be able to push a little more with the grader. Since he found the gear, I called Murphy and for them to come out, travel time and all, oil, repair it, $1,972.45.
Is that something that you guys would want to tackle?
No, we do not want to tackle it. No, we don't have the equipment to tackle that, to take all the hub and everything out and take it apart and get it truly aligned so we don't. But that's Murphy.
That's with parts and everything. That's with parts and everything.
Well, that's what that's counting $135 for parts would be $1,972.45. So $2,000.
If we don't find anything.
Is that with replacing the chain or that's with using the old chain?
I think I've got enough of the new chain that we put in there. I think I got enough of the bit to do the chain again. But that's without a new chain. I mean, I don't think the chain will be hurt that bad, no more than we've used it.
Yeah, but just in case they found that it was.
Yeah. So that would be the cost to repair the grader. You asked for bids for the windows, and window and door. Here. That's the contractors I talked to on this suggested there's no way to just replace this one window and door. It's rotten, as you can tell.
I can't tell. Would you go out there and open the door and hit it real quick? I just want to see it move again.
And you just want to see it move again? Yeah, I'm afraid it may move right on into the building.
Well, that's what I'm having you do it, not me.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Jason? Paper?
Yeah,
You're screwing with that right now.
messing with me. The first one I handed you was a cheapest bill. And that's replacement, as you can see, with just one window and not being able to open it. That's just build it in there like a picture window and
So it'll be one solid glass door. I hope you're not working out after the meeting, you'll get to the end.
I got the first one, I haven't got the second one.
So if we did the cheaper one, will that window still be able to put the AC in?
No.
do what?
Will they be able to put the AC back in?
No. It's just a solid picture window and then boarded up like try to match what the existing windows are. It would just be a picture window, that's all. That's what the contractors suggested the cheapest way to do it. But that's without an air conditioner. We can limp along and leave it just like it is right there and move the air conditioner to the middle window or the next one over and finish rotting it out. But that's your choices. I mean,
Or that.
One time we were quoted at almost $15,000 to do
the 3 windows up there, the 3 windows down here, and
the door.
the door was $15,000.
Yeah. But 3 windows upstairs we took care of. We covered.
Well, they're all covered with plexiglass on the outside. Everything's covered.
Took care of it.
So if we do either of these, what are we gonna do for AC?
We're moving the meeting to about 11 o'clock during the summertime. I'll be fine with that. Yes.
Well, like I said at the last meeting, it was discussed when we did the library that we needed to try to plan ahead to put a heat pump and air conditioning in this room. And you could put a split unit that would put a head in this room and a head in the city office over there for around $10,000 or less. I mean, that's to take care of this room and the city office. And that way we could get that air conditioner out of the window before we rot that window out. I realize it's a lot of money to put in a window and door.
These are things that will be included in my grant application for the community foundation. Don't know where and when we'll get the money, if we'll get the money. That's items I've been included. Any questions for Mr. Higgins?
They're still pondering the windows.
You're looking at.
I still got more, but they're still pondering the windows.
We're gonna be pondering for a minute, so you might as well talk and we'll see if we can listen.
What's your next item, sir?
Okay, my next item was something was said about a building. A price for a building. I got a quote. Since it doesn't seem like you want to fix the roof on my shed, I got a quote to replace my building and put the city office in it, the building alone, no concrete, no sewer, no water, just the shell, and that's a 50 by 135 building.
You want me to pass them out?
You want me to pass them
Let
out?
somebody else pass them out.
Well, you can laugh at us all, fuck, we'll try to get one at a time.
Okay, so, like I say, that's a building that's just a shell.
No concrete.
No concrete, just nothing, just a storage shed. That's what it amounts to there for that price. And I didn't know what kind of shed you wanted to look at, but that's, to do my roof was $30,000. For another $30,000, I can move the city office into my building. But that would do away with friendship meals and the library.
And the gymnasium.
Huh?
And the gymnasium.
And the gymnasium.
Not necessarily.
Next one, that was shop, city office. Next one is, we need to clean up our town. Here's one option. I was told a couple years ago that Lucky's would give that building to a nonprofit organization, offering a little bit of money for that. That building's 40 by 60, and it would take in friendship meals, a library, and the city office. Your concrete's there, your sewer's there, your water's there, your electric's there, and it would clean up that lot and building to where when you drive through 61, it looks like Turon's taking care of stuff instead of Lucky's sitting out there.
Problem is the taxes and the building is.
But if he's gonna give it, what's it gonna do to the city?
We would
See,
still have to
the
pay
same
the
way
taxes.
with, what taxes? I was told it was all taxes that was held against it was what they owed the state. It's like income tax and that. But to find out, at least find out if he can give it to you for nothing or very little, compared to $108,000 for that building.
That building's trashed.
So I've heard. I don't know.
Well, I know a person that went in it and the roof is leaking so bad and stuff,
Well, then we need to get that on the roll to get somebody to take it down. Get it cleaned up. That's not making Turon look any better. If it's ready to fall down, we need to get it sent to the guy that owns it and get something done.
I once heard that was presently owned by a bank somewhere, foreclosed on it. I don't know if that's accurate or maybe accurate at the time and they're not anymore. I don't know. We need to track down, to pursue this, we would need to track down who the present owner is. But if it's I'm sorry,
I've talked to the people that own it.
is it a bank,
no, it's still private owned.
still private individuals? You want to donate it?
But there's, right now, we're spending $1,000 a month this month for gas to heat this building, and we're approximately using 3,375 square foot. The rest is sitting empty and taking the heat. $1,000 a month, that's, you take your winter months, that's quite a bit of money in the winter months. just to heat this. Much less, I can spend $50,000 standing right here with 3 words on this building that needs to happen. The outside walls need sealed. Neither one of these bathrooms at either end of the building work. We're using one bathroom for the whole building, one stool. We have all the plumbing that needs done. There's
The maintenance, what it costs to maintain this building and run this building would make the payment to build a new building over 10 years. And then if we include not having to pay maintenance on the city, but then what's gonna happen to this and what's gonna happen to the city shop? Is the killer thing.
Yeah, who's gonna buy the city shop knowing they gotta spend $30,000 on the roof?
Well,
Who's gonna buy the school knowing that it's $35,000 to seal the north wall? That was 6 years ago when that bid was put in.
we're donating it to the library.
I mean, that's just my thoughts. My city shop and city office down there would be 6,750 square foot. That would just put
And
the
your-
city office,
And your gas bill down there is outrageous in the wintertime too. Has been before.
has been before, I don't know what it
Usually
was
right
this
around
month,
$1,000 or something.
but we're in the same boat there of keeping the back of the shop at 45, 50 degrees.
Yeah, but in a new building with new insulation and all that, it wouldn't cost nothing.
No, it wouldn't cost as much, no. But like I say, you're looking at, that was a post and beam, that's not a steel building. And like it says on the bid, that's just that building, that's not concrete, that's not insulation.
Is that it?
Electric.
Walls or subdivisions within the building?
No, there's no,
You'll spend that much again on concrete and carpentry and internal.
Oh yeah, you're going to, but with what we're starting to spend on these buildings and what we spend to keep them going every year, it's not a small amount. Bet you in the 10 years that I've been on this, we could have paid that off.
but I also know we're looking at our lagoon situation too.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean,
You would still have this building then deteriorating further and falling apart, being another eyesore.
well, that is true. It would have to.
It would have to be a deal like what the Andrew said of getting help
It
somewhere.
wasn't much help.
But
That's who helped us.
Yeah, with the water.
you still have more to talk about? We're
No.
still listening.
No, I'm, I
Tapped
think
out?
I'm tapped out now. I mean, them were just other thoughts that was in my head because of asking for a price for a new building. I was
Yeah, and
trying,
I did some more looking on that, to look into it too. And I'm not sure that we shouldn't, if we're gonna look into a new building and doing something different, that we don't look into doing it a different way and build a small building that's only like 12-foot stem walls for the offices, and then the city office is the meeting room, which could be a rental room also, and then the maintenance office would all be in one small building, and then you'd build a shop right next to it. It's probably more feasible than building it all at once. But they're talking, and I have to go back and do some asking, but they're talking that the fire department, all fully equipped to the companies, they've gotten bids for them, erected, finished out, done, is only gonna be like $270,000 or something. And we don't have to have a lot of stuff that's gonna be, and we don't have to have the height. Or the amount of doors.
no, see, that bid only included one 12-foot door for that 108. And I gotta have a 12-foot door to get,
It needs 2 or 3 12-foot doors. Because if we're gonna have a tractor and a backhoe and a road grader, if they're predicting a blizzard or something, or big snow, or we gotta have our equipment inside and ready to go and stuff, you know, not
Indoors where it'd be warm and start.
put it inside for when needed or something like that.
well, that's where they are right now, they're sitting inside.
And also ponder just a little bit, Preston built a new building, of course, that's Pratt County. But they built a building 25 years ago, the city office is in there and the fire department. No library, no recreational area, no public rental rooms or, yeah, I don't know if there's a rental room in there, I don't think there is. Maybe something, I don't know what they paid for that building, nice little city building. Fire department there, maybe 3 doors, 4, and then plus the city offices.
You might be right, it might be 3, because they've got 2 trucks come out one way.
Any more discussion with Mr. Higdon? I'm gonna move on, friends. Audience comments, do the audience have comments?
I do.
Mr. Mobley. Let's move on.
I think that if we're gonna do that, we need to make a hole for there.
How are you this evening, young man?
All right. First off, I want to apologize to you all. A couple months back, I was asking about, I thought there was a quarter added to trash. You all didn't reply, so I checked it out, and it was $1.25. I misheard it, I guess, in the past. I'm sorry about that if I insinuated anything. So, to find out that,
I went through my bills, my water, the trash and sewer, did a spreadsheet. And that's where I saw that the trash had $1.25 added to it. And most cities, I guess, do that. But when I did the spreadsheet, I got to looking, and since 2017, there's been random instances of the base rate double. And I added it for the trash and the sewer, and for me, it totals $140.75. And no one's caught it, so just, I guess, because I was looking. I've asked a couple neighbors if they were charged, and it's apparent that no one keeps receipts. I guess anyway, I wanted to bring that to your attention, and kind of wanted to know what y'all are going to do about it. Because if it's me, it's probably everyone. And I just took that $140.75. Now there are a few months I didn't have the actual receipt, the tab. So it could be others, I don't know. But that's what I have is proof. So I just took that amount and multiplied by 150 as what I thought maybe there's that many people with accounts. That's over $21,000. That's been overcharged. And it's been random. It's like all the way from 2017. It doesn't seem to be a computer thing.
That's the $1.25 you're talking about?
For instance, February of 2017, the base rate from Nisley was $12.50. The city added $1.25. We were charged $25. I was charged $25.
Then
So-
the next month you weren't?
Pardon me?
Then the next month you weren't charged that?
Wasn't, no. Actually, the kicker is November of 2016, the total should have been $13.75 for the Nisley bill plus the city fee. Okay? And then December of 2016, the total was $12.50. The extra charge wasn't on there. And that continued until, like February, it jumped up to $25. And then it continued at a $12.50 total base until July. And then August, it went back to the $13.75. But I would have said, well, okay, there was something put in wrong. Except for that 1 month where it was not $12.50, it was $25. Or actually $13.75, it was $25.
And what year was this in?
That was 2017. And it's been random, just weird times.
Yeah, because the contract with Nisley was set up to where it went up in January, I believe, every year. And we tack on the $1.75 for the handling
$1.25.
fee. The $1.25 for the handling fee.
Yeah.
But why in the world they would ever?
I'm confused. I'm confused. That's why I'm here.
They tacked on a surcharge one time when fuels got expensive, when the price of gas and
It was like
they added
50 cent or something.
No, but it went down and then doubled and then down.
Well, what you're saying is it was at $12.50.
No, it was, Nisley was $12.50.
Yeah.
Tacked on, the total should have been $13.75.
And then at one point, the $1.25 was not getting charged.
Right. For approximately 7 months. Actually 8 months, but in 1 month, instead of $13.75 is what it should have been, it was $25. So that was, you know, the residents, if everyone was charged the same way.
Would that amount equal the amount that they didn't charge the 125? Would that
This is
equal the
in,
25?
it started in December of 2016. In February of 2017, it was 25. And then after that, it went to 12.50. So it's kind of like, it doesn't make sense. That's what I'm saying. And then, you know, I go back to October, and instead of $13.75, we were charged $27.50. And there's other months added to that.
You don't by chance have your receipt with you, do you?
I've got all my, no, I'm keeping those receipts.
Well, I would be curious to see a copy of them or something. I'd like.
Well, you've got it on your, you've got proof of it, you can run it, you know. What people
They don't
charge.
go back like that.
I mean, on QuickBooks, I could see that I don't have anywhere to see past 2020 in my system.
See, I keep my records back to 7 years.
I don't keep my records from last year.
I know, it seems nobody keeps their records, but, you know, I have a
I
business,
keep
I
my
keep that stuff,
taxes.
so, I'm just saying, there's some liability here.
Somewhere they should have, because they're supposed to keep them for 10 years.
So,
I keep my taxes,
I mean,
not that stuff.
I mean, I can certainly show you those receipts, but I'm just saying, I only have one copy, I got a printer problem. And I've got one printout for the trash and another one for the sewer, and they both the same way.
The sewer fluctuated also?
Oh, yeah, yeah, February of 2017. With normal base rate is $10, charged $20. But the other months weren't. October, charged $20, base rate was supposed to be 10, so $10.
And you never owned any property in this town but your house property?
My house, well, I had that other little property,
Yeah.
but
But there was no house, there was no utilities?
no, I didn't have water or anything. It's never had electricity or water to it. And it's random. It's so random.
Is this still ongoing, or has the problem resolved in the recent last couple of years? Has this variation continued?
October 2024,
October 2024, what?
same thing.
I'm sorry?
Same thing.
Same thing.
The base rate was $37, and, oh no, the base should have been $18.50, charged $37. In April, the same
That's on
thing.
the sewer?
This one is, yeah, sewer. And,
And you said the base rate was $18.50 and it charged $37 that month?
yeah. And then for trash, the same month, it was supposed to be $15.25 for trash. No. Yeah. And, should have been a total of $15.25, I was charged $30.50. And the same for April. And back in May of '23, and, you know, then all the way to 2017. So, you need to figure this out. If it's just me, that's one thing, but if it's the whole city, you've got over $21,000 that shouldn't be in your account. And it's, you know, since it goes back to 2017, it's not Michaela, it's not the clerk, because we've had, what, a dozen clerks?
Yeah.
You know?
3 or 4 anyway.
So,
17 had to go back to Sharon.
over a dozen.
You know, wasn't it?
We had, I think Michaela was counted, we couldn't figure out if she was number 12 or 11. And she was higher, trying to count. So, that's all I got for you. Something to think about.
No.
I would,
I talked to the lawyer, and when he was leaving, I told him what I was gonna be saying, and he said, well, just let them know, and they've gotta figure it out.
Well, I think, man, I don't know how you figure that out because
We
like
should
you've
have it
got-
on QuickBooks, she had QuickBooks back then, we should have a backup system, I would assume.
They don't go back that far.
You don't keep a backup?
They do.
Oh, well. Could you,
But he still has variations in more recent years.
yeah,
You can go back as far as 20, did you say 2020? We can look at the last 2 or 3 years and see what we can see. What
so
we can find.
what we need from him is the months that it varied, and then you could go pull up other bills and see if it varied on other people also, correct? Be a place to start.
See, I have some months that I don't have interest, the actual receipt. Because, like I said, I keep all of that. So I have a blank. I don't know if I was overcharged or not. I just don't have the receipt. Now, I did my taxes through my checking account, or my check bills, and that's how I did my taxes on it. But I don't know if it was doubled or not. Because I just have the check written. I don't know, maybe I used a lot of water that month. You know, I don't have it separated out for that month. And that's a few months here and there through the years.
But if we would go back to, like, he said he had some in 24 that were overcharged, that the trash and the sewer were doubled. If we would look at those months and then look at other people's that same month and see if it was just happening on his or if it happened to other people that same month also. So could you get us like the months that in the last, since 20, 21, 22, 23?
I want to say 2020.
Does that make sense what I'm asking?
Mm-hmm.
And then we could look at and compare the months that you were overcharged and go back and look at other bills
Well,
also.
I don't know if it was just me for those months. It could have been other people for other months.
Right, but it'd be a starting point to pull those months up for some other bills and compare and see if it was just yours that month or some others were the same way, and then we could go back and go.
Well, if
through
you're gonna say from 23, I can tell you May of 23, April 24,
Would you mind just could we get you a piece of paper?
and
just
October
write it down?
24.
Or gather it up and bring it, make a listing of it and bring it into the office month by month.
Okay, except
I can give you a
I'm
piece
going
of
out of
paper.
town first
I
thing
can
in the
give you a
morning.
piece of paper right now and have you just write down.
Well, I can write it down. I don't want to give you my printout because this is my last thing.
No, we don't need that.
I've got a legal pad. I can write it down.
Oh. Yep, writing utensil.
Yeah. And I noticed the water, the trash and the sewer are the same months all the way through.
Something was doubling that. And it was always double.
Yeah.
You commented.
Well,
about-
not really. February 2017, I had 1125 difference just because it looked like you had changed it to 1250 when before it was 1375 the year before. So I thought it was, or no, I took, what did I do here? Just a second. Yeah, it was $13.75 against the $25. It was $11.50, and then in the October it was $27.50. So never mind.
So, yeah, it was double.
Well, I think a lot of people use automatic withdrawals, would that have something to do with this? If you're not wanting a check, he was commenting about people who don't keep their receipts. You know, my wife takes care of them, and it's all an automatic withdrawal. I don't know what she ever looks at. If she doesn't look at it, or I got popped out by it, it's still be down for bank account. If it was $15 or $20 or 25, I don't know what she even noticed it. She didn't look at it. She might notice it at the end of the year. She goes through it month by month. Other comments from the audience?
I
Speak
promise
up, young
mine's
man.
not very hard. I just wondering where my recycling bin is.
Come right up here, I'm not here, I'm old.
I said mine's not complicated or anything. I'm just wondering where my recycling bin is.
Wondering what is?
Where my recycling bin is.
Where your bin is?
My recycling bin.
Okay, did you not get one?
I was told they ran out, but I
Do we
see
have
what's
some
next.
extra recycling bins? Oh, girl. Black needs a bin.
That's all I have. I'm simple.
They will provide you with a recycle bin.
All right, thank you.
Tony had a message for you on that deal too. Tony Perkins.
I see no safety officer present. Did you have any comments about the Sorry, no? What new business do we have? Comments in general from the governing body? Mr. Green, you've been awfully quiet over there all night. Now has your chance. Mr. Zumper has already given us a lot of comments.
I'm gonna give you a lot more every day.
Ms. Stewart, do you have governing body comments? Ms. Burns, do you have comments? Anything else for the good of the community? Motion to adjourn would be in order.